and welcome to Ngina's Journal. My name is Ngina. It's another Tuesday and here we are, and today I have a very interesting guest. Today is Family Affair. I'm hosting a young lady.
Hi.
Yeah, this is my niece. Her name is Wendo. She will introduce herself. Thank you so much, young lady, for coming.
Anytime. I'm so honored to be part of your journal.
Karibu sana. So please tell us who you are.
For the people who don't know me, I'm Jerusa Wendo. I'm 15 years old. I'm in grade 10 and I'm her niece, as she just said.
Well, karibu sana. Now, today we wanted to talk about something that affected us as a family, something that we have dealt with for a very long time, the loss of my brother, who is our father, Evans Chalo Maundu. Now, some few months ago, I guess, I did some videos about losing Evans, and I think for the first time I was able to open up about this loss. Now, it's something that affected our family big time because Evans was my only brother. We were just two, just me and Evans, and he was way older than me, so he was this person that was my shield. He was my friend. He is the person that was introducing me to life, and our life is out there. And one day he was just snatched. We woke up, he was okay, and he traveled and he was gone. An accident took him away. And so it has been a tough journey for us as a family. It was tough, especially for my parents and for Wendo's mother and for every one of us. It was like a dark cloud hovering over us. And it's been 13 years. It's been 13 good years. And in this journey, we just realized, today I was talking to my sister-in-law, and we realized these young ones, we kind of excluded them from in our mourning. We meet together, and as grown-ups we talk about him and how we miss him, but we kind of just forgot that these young ones lost a dad and an uncle. So today I decided to bring this young lady. I keep calling her so because she's just grown all of a sudden before my eyes, and she is taller than me. Yeah. And so Wendo, I realize we don't talk about this much.
Yeah, we don't. Whenever we come together as a family, we obviously talk about how we are, how we're doing, where we are at life, but we seem to forget the past, and we never really dwell on what had happened. So basically, after it all happened, there was no after. We didn't talk about what had gone on. We don't include me.
Oh, you especially. We're so sorry. I think when you're mourning as a grown-up, you think it's your thing. Like, we just probably never thought we should. Your brother though, yeah? Salem would come and ask me, how tall was dad? How did he talk? How actually one time he asked me, what was show me his walking style.
Wow.
Like, there's that interest, and we tend to forget, huh? We tend to forget these young ones. And Wendo, do you know how old you were when your dad passed on?
I tried to do the math right now. I don't know, probably 2 years.
You were 2. You were very little.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were very little, and something happened. You probably don't know, but I will tell you.
Yeah.
Your dad, he was transferred to Mombasa. You know where he was working?
Yes, at Cooperative Bank.
He was working with Cooperative Bank Ukunda. And so at this point, he decided, when he went to Mombasa, he decided to buy these telephone, these tabletops, so and this, the wireless one.
Yeah.
And he bought that so he can be talking to you. So every evening, you used to go to that table where there was that phone so that you can wait for daddy to talk to you. So I remember your mom telling me after your dad passed on that every evening you go to that table and you're waiting for dad to call for a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know you probably will not remember such, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were very little. You were very petite. You're just a little girl.
Yeah.
You may not remember all that, but do you have a vivid memory of him?
I really don't, because I was really young, but sometimes when I'm alone and I just feel like I wish, like if my dad was here, I would just close my eyes and try to imagine how it was like when I was a child, and then I would just develop these scenarios that probably never happened, but it just gives me comfort to think about it, but I really don't remember any of it.
You cannot remember. And today I was talking to her and I asked how she's been able to deal with it, and so she told me something interesting, that sometimes she thinks, she wishes she was, you know, she was bigger, she could understand, but then she realizes that the pain of letting go
Is much complex, because like if when you're younger and you have not really developed these memories you can remember, you just think that, you know, the person's gone and there's not really much to hold on to feel an amount of pain. I mean, of course he's my father. I'm supposed to feel bad that he's not there. I feel lonely that he's not there. But still, like for you, I'm pretty sure the pain is much bigger than mine, because I don't really have these memories together with him that I remember. So like I wish that we could go on for like till like maybe I was 10 or something, so that like I could hold on to these memories, but it would have caused me much more pain to let go of the fact that he's gone.
I know the bonding, all that. Well, now there's Wendo, and Wendo is Jerusa. Our first name is Jerusa, and then there's Salem. These two their name make Jerusalem.
Hi,
and your dad knew. Now, when Evans died, the wife was 3 months pregnant, and Evans knew he wanted his kids to be called Jerusalem. He knew there was gonna be a boy, and he is supposed to be called Salem, because this is Jerusa. So their name makes Jerusalem. That is amazing.
It keeps me wondering, because when I found out that he had this whole idea of it, I felt honored. Like, it's just so nice to hear such good thoughts about your dad, that your dad had this whole vision of you and your brother sharing the same name. And I feel like it's just much more than me and Salem as a siblinghood. It's something that I've been thought of.
It's something you've been thought of, and then the fact that he just knew your existence, like it makes you feel like he's here. Like I get it. I get it. So I know there's no easier way to do this. We are both emotional. I said it's a family affair, but we're gonna talk about very intricate things. And we said we can just, it's therapy. We will.
Yes.
We will, right?
Yes.
So Wendo, this has been a journey for you of 11 years. When you were growing up as a young girl, I know in school everybody talks about daddy. My daddy bought me this. My daddy bought me this. Now, I would first want to ask, at what point did you realize that dad is not around? We don't have dad.
Okay. I think it was in class 4. Okay. Basically, I kind of I had this thing where people, like classmates, would ask me, where's your dad? What does your dad work? Like stuff like that. And we were supposed to write compositions about our fathers' careers and all that. And I used to tell them that he was a pilot, so that I wouldn't have to deal with them asking me, why is your dad not coming to this function or this function? And I would just be like, he's just flown away somewhere and he's gonna come back soon. And they really didn't question me. I didn't really have that much of a father, like so many people asking me father questions. But I think it was in class 4 that I realized I don't have a father and he's not coming back. And I felt really bad, but like I wasn't really able to like cry or anything, because in the back of my head till today I still kind of tell myself, he's coming back, don't worry, he's just gonna come back. It's just an awful nightmare. You're gonna wake up and he's gonna be there waiting for you.
So deep down you still hope one day you'll come back.
Yeah.
When was the first time someone just looked at you and told you your dad died? He is gone, he's not coming back?
Wow.
Oh, have we ever done that?
No.
No. God.
I I've never had someone tell me that. I kind of just used my intuition and thought that he's just gone.
Did you ever talk to mom about it?
No, I actually just asked her for, there's times where I ask her for details, how they met, but I really haven't asked much about it. Actually, the way that I knew Dad died is when Babu told me that he was buried somewhere close to where we stay.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, then I know he's dead. Now that's assuring. And there's a time where my brother and Sean, we were going to dig and see if he's actually inside. And then
You
we just
kids did that. You went
Yeah.
to dig the grave.
Yeah, but then we realized that we really couldn't do anything, and then our grandfather got really angry, so we just stopped, and that became that.
I'm so sorry. I don't know, in my mind, I keep feeling like, God, there's so much you've not done as parents to these kids. Like, all those things, like sitting, you're grown, you're 15.
Yeah.
You were just 9 the other day. You're now 15.
Yes.
All grown and beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, you just know that your dad died. Nobody really like sat you down and gave you the episodes
Yeah.
of what happened.
Yeah, or even asked exactly how I'm feeling. But like honestly, I was asked how I was feeling much later, because when I was in Thika, the people there in my school, they really didn't ask much about my dad. But then when you get older, then they're really curious, because now in the school that I'm in, there's so many functions that requires parents, and in our school, it's actually, in this world, it's so stereotypical that people think that, your two parents are alive, your two parents are going to come to every single function, and they expect you to be there. And then there was one scenario where someone thought that my dad didn't really care about coming
Like
to
he
the
just
functions.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, like he's
Yeah.
there, but he isn't coming.
And then they asked me, like, is your mom having an argument with your dad? And I was like, no, my dad's just not there. And then she was like, oh, I'm so sorry for assuming this and that. And I've had so many assumptions. People have had so many assumptions of where my dad is. So I just thought I would just tell them the truth. And if they asked what happened, I just keep it discreet and just short. I don't want to get into
Details.
Yeah.
And your teachers, do they ever ask?
Well, my teachers sometimes, okay, it's in the past, I used to get into a lot of arguments with teachers, and they would threaten to call my dad. And I was just there like,
We'll talk about the arguments.
Yes,
because that
yes.
popped up.
but like, they don't really ask a lot. They don't. They don't really ask. Your mom would just come, and like, you see this parent-teachers meetings where they get your report from. You don't require 2 parents. You can just come with 1, and no questions are asked. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel when you see people's dads come visit?
It's heartbreaking. I think it's the most heartbreaking thing, because you can never really know. And sometimes when I do exams and I get my report from, and like I get my marks, I wonder, how would dad realize, like how would dad react to this and that? It's just something in me. I just reassure myself that if I pretend my dad is there, then everything's gonna be fine. And I still haven't
It
accepted.
gives you that security, like,
Yeah.
daddy, I get it. Well, it's interesting how somehow these things we just allow them to just flow. And when I look at you right now, you're so much more like your dad. The person that you are, yeah, you're much more like your dad. Now, I know you would be so proud of you. Actually, today, as I was preparing for this, I was like, Evans, today I'm gonna sit down with your daughter. She's so grown, she's so beautiful, she is so brilliant, she's just an amazing young girl.
Yeah. This morning I also prayed. I was like, I'm going to go with I was talking to him like,
Yeah,
like
like
this.
having a conversation.
I'm going to go on air with my aunt, and we're going to talk about you. So I hope you will be listening, and don't you cry, because we'll try our best not to cry as well. And like, I don't know, I just always have these conversations with him as if he's there, and I sometimes want to believe that he can hear me, because it's the least I can do. I feel like, okay, sometimes I feel like I haven't like, me and my dad were in this place where I'm forgetting that he's also a parent, even though he's not there. So I try to involve him in everything, even though he's not there physically. So I still tell him, I still pray and tell him, I got this in math, I got this, we had this in school. Like every time when I remember, I keep him updated.
Does mom know this happens?
No, I think she'll think I'm weird.
No, she wouldn't think you're weird. You're just a girl that is craving for dad's support and all that, and the assurance, and I totally understand. Yeah, I totally understand. So let me ask you though, what are some of the things, now that you've spoken and I've picked one or two things, I would just want you to tell me, what are some of the things that you would have wanted, or you feel like you miss because dad wasn't here?
Like the things that I can't do because my dad isn't here, right?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of, okay, there's things that me and my mom do that I'm like, oh yeah, if dad was here. Like, for example, if we were going to, like, my graduation's coming up and my dad won't be there to see that. Or like important events like my birthday, my family's birthday, even when Shushu got a new car, like when I just, the smallest, the tiniest things. I feel like every part of it, my dad should be there. Yeah, no matter how small it is.
No matter how small it is. And you know, losing Evans was, it was, you know, when a family has someone they hold on to.
Yeah.
Dad knew he had a son. Mom knew he had a son. I knew I had a brother. Winnie knew she had a husband. These young ones knew that they had a dad. They, you know, he was supposed to be all that to all of us. So when he died, we all suffered loss. Yeah, we will never understand. We cannot. I cannot sit here and tell you I understand how you feel, because I know it is all different. But as you've said, there are things I have gone through in life. There are times, one of the things that I dealt with that was so hard for me is the realization that it's just me. And I don't know whether you're aware, between me and your brother there were 2 kids. My mom had 2 stillbirths. Stillbirth is when you give birth to a child and they die.
Oh.
So we were supposed to be 4. You're supposed to have 2 aunties and an uncle. Well, it's just me. Now that has been one of the things I've not been able to deal with. Yeah. And it was a big loss for all of us. But for you it goes deeper, because it's like you never met him.
Yeah.
And he is this person. I know girls need their dads when they're growing up. Yeah. And we sit down with your mom and you're like, Wendo would have had the best father ever. Do you know the things that he used to do? How much do you know about him? Like,
well, I knew he was a banker, and I knew that he wrote really inspirational things. I knew he was a man of God. But I was only introduced to like one of the things that he did. Mostly, specifically, one of the types of, I don't know if it was some type of speech he was writing, but that was the only thing that I was told about. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's anything else I was told.
No, I would talk about your dad the whole day, but I will just probably add to what you said. Now, your dad was a very brilliant man. He was so much like you, so much. You know that gentleness that you have, that's, yeah, that is your dad. He was a man of God. He was a man used so greatly by God. He was a man that loved people. Our grandpa, who is your great-grandpa, was called Mwendando. That is Kikamba. Yeah. He loved people. Yeah. And that was your dad. Your dad loved people. He supported so many people. And when he died, we realized there are people he was paying school fees for. We didn't know. He never used to say much about it.
Yeah.
He was a writer, a great one. And by the way, there is something I would want us to put together, me and you. I have a bit of his writings somewhere put together. So I would want us to come together. You're in year 10.
Yeah.
In the next 2 years, you'll be in a place where you can do that.
Yeah.
I would want us to come up, because I know you wanted to do a book. I would want us to sit down and compile that and add whatever can be added, and we publish it. We need to keep the legacy going. We can do that, right?
Yeah, actually, there's some poems I wrote about him whenever I felt really sad. There's some poems I wrote. I think I can retrieve them for sure. If I can't, I can write more because I can do.
So we can do this.
We can.
We can do this.
It's the least we can do for him.
It's the least you can do. He was a great man. So he was a writer. He was a man deep, rooted in God.
Wow.
And it was sound. You know, when you listen to someone teach the word of God and you're wondering, where do you get all that from?
Yeah.
Who are you? Where are you from? Like,
yeah,
he was that kind of a person. And he kept our family knitted together. He was a man of peace, and he was just there to make sure Dad is okay with me and Winnie is okay with Mom. He was, you know, he was that person. No? And gosh, there is a lot I can say. He was a loving man. He was a very good man.
I could see. You see, by the family pictures that we keep, whenever we go to our grandparents' place, there's this book of pictures from when you were in secondary and when you were with him, and he seemed like the best brother you could ever ask for.
I am telling you, his death shook me also. I felt like the way you pick a fish out of water and you're struggling to breathe.
Yeah.
I think I had a mental breakdown, literally. Yeah, it was crazy. It was too much, and it has taken a long time for me to be able to sit down and talk the way we are talking and not just cry. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you are so much like him, so much like him, and so is Salem. You know, it's so weird. Salem is, you know, the way Salem sometimes will just get away from anyone and sit alone. That is Evans.
Yeah, even when we're in a car, he would just stop speaking, and everyone would
he just logs off, like he just detaches and is in his own world. That is his dad too. So you two are just him. You like half, and then you bring together Evans. Yeah, and you guys are a blessing. We every year I look at you grow, I am like, Evans, your daughter is here, she's doing it, and she's doing it really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I would really want us to talk about those moments that you write poems to him. Yeah. And it's okay. He is your dad. Nobody can replace that. So it's just okay for you to feel like you need to write him something. It's okay for you to just feel like you need to communicate with him. It's okay for you to feel like you just need him to know how you're doing. But how do those moments affect you? Do you feel better after writing?
Yes.
Yeah, you feel better?
Yeah. In a way, like, you know how for example, you kind of talk to someone on the phone and then like they can't hear you because the signal isn't good, and then they move to another place. That's how it feels. I write the poems, like I can't talk to him and I feel like I can't, there's this barrier, so I just write the poems and I feel better.
You feel like he's really he's really reading those. You feel that.
And when I found out he was a writer, I just felt like that was it was like our way of communicating. Even though people would think I'm insane by writing such things and thinking he'll see them, it just gives me that comfort knowing that he might have read.
Amazing. And that is good. I think it's one of the things that we are doing a journal. That is why we write journals.
Yeah.
Because in your journal you just write those things. Sometimes you just those things, talk to those people that you cannot reach. Just pour out your heart there. It helps a lot. So I'm glad you're doing that, and I just pray that it works for the positive. It is positive for you, because it has also another side of negativity, where you can close away from the world. And detach from everyone and just have your own cocoon with your dad, who is not physically here.
It can be very bad for other people because they'll be worried about you, that you're talking. Like there's a time that I told Mom, I was in my grandparents' place, and then I told Mom that I saw a figure close to where Daddy was buried, and then she was like, are you okay? Like, you're not picking up my calls, like, are you fine? And then I think she also thought that I was in that kind of place where it's me and my dad, and I'm detached from the world.
from everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I also have to acknowledge that my mom is there. I think she is the most beautiful, the best mother I would ever ask for. I am mostly, like, although the reason why I cry most of the times when I think about my dad is mainly because of my mother's perspective to the story. Like, I can't imagine just knowing the whole assurance that your husband's gone on a trip, he's coming back, everything's fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
To find out that he's not coming back, that's heartbreaking. And every time I think about how she felt, and I just break, like, it's so hard. And I don't even know how she's still, because I feel like I would have just lost it. And
I know. And
like,
she was pregnant with Salem.
Yeah.
3 months. She is strong. That's what I must confess. She is just an amazing, strong woman. And she has given you the best education, best life. She's really worked hard. And
like, sometimes, you know how you can acknowledge someone's, like, existence, and also a way to acknowledge that my dad is gone is just giving space to show how much my mom can do by herself. It just shows everyone how strong and courageous and just brave she is as a woman. And, like, to everyone who's lost, like, their family members, whether it be your brother or anything, it's heartbreaking. And to come out of that and just continue living life is just strong.
She is a strong woman. She is amazingly strong. And most of the times when you're talking, she tells me, like, when she was taking you to the school you were in, she told me, Ngina, this is not going to be easy, but this is where their father would want them to be.
Yeah, she
like, this is what Evans would want to give them. And she keeps talking about great dreams for you guys. And she is like, I know Evans would have wanted them to live like this. So I know what she's doing is amazing. And Winnie, we love you. We know what you're doing. We may not say it every time, but we really appreciate who you are in our lives, and taking care of these young ones. Now, I know you are a teenager. You are. How is that going?
It's nice, honestly. It is nice. It's better than I expected.
What is it that you expected? What did they tell you about teenagehood?
Well, I thought that people would just peer pressure you into doing drugs. I mean, they do, but like, they do, but you can stop it. Like, they actually made it sound like they have to force
like you just have to try it, and
you have to do the drugs, but you can actually not do the drugs.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good message.
So I know we really today just wanted to exhaust this thing about your dad, and I wanted us to get to a bit of your teenagehood. But before that, is there anything you would want to ask me about your dad? I will let you interview me right now.
Oh yes, I have a couple of things. Well, how was your relationship with my dad, like, when you guys were staying together till, like, the time that I know he went to university and stuff. Were you guys still staying together?
We were so close with Evans. Number one, he protected me. Evans protected, he shielded me. I was like, the way, when Salem is growing.
Yeah, he is.
Nobody will be able to touch you. Salem will fight for you, That kind of a relationship. My brother shielded me. I was safe. Actually, my relationship with my brother when it comes to safety, taking care of me, was so closer than my dad's.
Yeah.
I knew if you tried anything, you will deal with Evans, not with dad.
Yeah.
And even in high school, he used to come visit me. When I was done with Form 4, he came to pick me. Wow. And I remember when I was a young girl after high school, and you're very naive, you're very young, he would take me out for coffee. And he would sit me, there, he seated here, and he would tell me, look at me, stop blushing. Like, he trained me to become who I am today. And one of the things that I picked from him is that is the spiritual part of life.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot about God. I watched him do things. I watched him wake up at 4 to pray, and I watched him study the Word of God, and I wanted to be, you know, the way you want to be like your big brother or your big sister, especially if they're
Yeah.
doing well. That was it. We were very close. It was a blow for me. It was a big blow for me. I did not know how to begin. There is a lot. And after my Form 4, he was in Strathmore at that point. We stayed with him. He was in Strathmore, and then he went to the university after doing his CPS, and we stayed together until actually he married. And after marriage, they stayed alone for a while, and then they sent for me. They were like, "No, come stay with us." So we were basically together all through, and we used to joke. Huh? He would tell me, "No, I'll die first. I don't want to see you die." When we were younger.
Yeah, me and my brother did the same.
You did the
yeah,
same.
me, him, and Sean.
And then I was like, when he died, I was like, Evans, we had an agreement. It was
Yeah.
gonna be me. It wasn't
Exactly,
supposed to
right.
be you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we were very close, tight.
Yeah, that's so nice to hear. That's nice. I'm just so happy that he left without any grudges held against him by anyone.
No.
Because no one would keep grudges with him, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was good.
I know I was told by different people like how he met my mom, but then I need details.
Really? Your mom is going to excommunicate me for this one. Well, they met in campus, Kenyatta University. Yeah. So your mom, amazingly, your mom tells me Evans will never talk about it with me. He wouldn't. Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
But me and your mom are very close. You know that. So we would talk about it. Huh? And they met the first time she saw him, or they met. Like I don't think they even talked that time. Uncle Kim was in KU, so your mom had gone to visit him.
Yeah.
And he saw Evans. They saw each other, and there was this thing just like that. And then a year went on, and your mom now joins KU.
Oh.
There was this thing.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know.
It's planned.
And then they meet a year later,
Yeah.
and they met in she's Lucy. They met in Lucy's Cube. Evans was there, and Winnie just walks in, and they're like, "No, I know you.
Yeah.
I met you last year." You know, and they were these people that they were very prayerful. Both of them were preachers. Eh?
Yeah.
So they met in ministry, waited, you know, the Ukambani evangelistic team. So and their relationship grew from there. So they met in campus, and they knew that was it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's great.
That's it.
I love that. It's just nice to hear that they met in a spiritual, because they were both working in the ministry.
Yeah, they were
That's
both
so
in the
nice.
ministry.
Yeah. Another question. How did it feel, especially for Shushu, because you said that there were 2 children, like before. Yeah, I mean, for you, I'm pretty sure that was tough, because like you don't have any other siblings. Yeah.
It's different when you're born alone.
Yeah.
It is different when you were supposed to be 4.
Yeah.
And it's just you. Now, Shosho, okay, we used to calling our parents Babuna Shosho because of these young ones.
Yeah.
So my mom is Pastor Mary. Pastor Mary was shaken to the core. I remember when she came. Now the accident happened on, was it on a Tuesday? And Shosho came to your place. You're staying in Thika back then.
Yeah.
She came the following day, and they had not told her that Evans is dead. So she was told Evans was involved in a road accident and he's in the hospital. Yeah. So she's coming, and we go to pick her. It was an uncle of mine who was in the army back then with his wife.
Yeah.
And I think for her, she was like, if Evans is in the hospital, why is everybody here?
Yeah, exactly.
And she sank. Yani, she just sank, but she did not say anything. She did not even ask anyone anything. We go to the house and found the house was full. Of course, everybody is calm. Yeah. So I remember my mom screamed, and she asked God, is this how you pay me for being faithful to you?
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But you know your grandma, she's a strong woman. My God.
is.
My dad has mourned Evans over the years. He gave up. Dad literally gave up. But mom has been this strong person. Actually, she got more involved in the church. She started going to the office, the church office, and she's spending time there.
Yeah.
She's praying. And I remember in the barrio, I still have this barrio CDs. Huh? In the barrio, she said she will not stop praying for people's sons because she lost us. She will still pray for other people's children because as a pastor, that is what she does. She prays for others. So it was tough from Shush, but she recovered easier. Or rather, sometimes I look at her and wonder whether she's just covered it up or she's really dealt with it.
Yeah, I am also like the woman in this family. Wow. Like all of you are so strong, and I'm just there. Like, okay, that's not the point. Yeah, she's still, I've looked at, even you and mom, I just look at you guys and wonder, like, when you're in the same room, like,
are these guys okay?
yeah, are they still dealing with it? Like, is it over? But I feel like
it's never over.
Yeah.
I'm telling
something
you, it's
will just come back. And
you know, there are times I would just sit in the house like this and I remember Evans and I cried. Just fall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even me, like, when I come back to school, I just think about it and I'm like, oh. Like even when mom like is busy and can't do something, like right now, like the time that she's like, I have to go to, like today, she's like, I have to go somewhere, so I can pick you up so you can go. Like I realized, what if dad was here? He would have just driven me here. Yeah, like that.
I know.
And I was told, I don't know if it's true, it's just me thinking, like when we were at the barrio, was I there? I remember me and Sean were just playing.
You and Sean, you can remember that.
And then, I went and asked, I was crying and I went to mom and asked her, Mom, where's dad? Where is he? And then he's literally like,
right there.
Yeah, and then she's like, he's coming back soon. I was like, okay. And then I just go back and play with Sean. I just leave. And she's crying and I don't realize it.
You don't,
yeah. And then I just go back with him. Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah,
it was tough. We can't say we've gotten over it. Sometimes it's so fresh. Let me tell you, every time we just drive to Shags, when we get, you know, those shambas down there, every time we get there, I'm like, what is home without Evans? That one for the years I've been dealing with that. Yeah. And yet again, sometimes I just feel like when I miss him, I need to go home. I think the imagination is buried there.
Yeah.
I just still feel like his presence is just...
It's even safer there. Like, I feel like you can just have happiness there. I never used to understand why it was like we were taken so much there, like all the time. But I feel like it's just been good. He's watching over us.
You feel like he's there. This thing about you seeing a shadow, tell me about that.
Oh, okay. So basically, I was sitting the sitting room, the one went out there watching the TV, then the one
Which
over here.
sitting room? The Shushu's one, the other house.
And then I was just there. I was on my phone, and then I was texting someone, and then I just had a sound outside, and then I was like, oh no, that's nothing. And then I just continued on my phone, and then suddenly I started feeling like using the washroom. So I go out, and then when I'm going to the washroom for that side, I see something, like
during the day.
It's a light. It's during the night.
It's not,
it's a light, a tiny beam of light, and I see it close to now where the opening for that pit is with the water, and I was like, what's going on? And then I think it's like one of those motorcycles, but it's coming closer to like this side.
The light is moving.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I get really scared, and then I start to cry, and then I don't know if it's a voice or something that just told me, don't worry, I'm here. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I just stopped crying immediately. Just stopped crying. And like obviously, like I told mom this, and she's like, are you sure? Like everything's fine. And then I said, it's what I imagined dad would sound like, but then something about it, like remembering all that, makes me feel guilty, because I feel like I'm trying too hard to make it sound like he's there, but he's not.
Yeah. So you're trying to push your emotions. You're just trying to build. You know, your mind is still trying to accept that he is gone.
Yeah.
So it's normal that sometimes you will even imagine things, and you know, it's so funny that the mind is able to create things, and if you're not careful, your mind can create and move stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and it's understandable. It's one thing. I wouldn't say I understand because I've grown up with my dad, so I know I can try. I'll try to imagine what you feel and what you go through every day. Tell me about Salem. How is Salem with all this? I should ask Salem soon.
Yeah, I mean, Salem, really, we never talk about.
You never talk about it?
Yeah, I don't know why it's a habit of us to dismiss it, but like him, he asks me how he looks like, and then sometimes he feels bad that I have no response because I don't remember. So sometimes I just tell him we're the same. It may sound like I came and I saw him and he was there, but like we're the same. I don't remember anything, so it really doesn't count as me seeing him. What about Sean? I don't know. He told me he doesn't remember either.
Yeah, Sean wouldn't. Sean was 1 year.
Yeah.
You were 2. So he wouldn't. I think he can't.
And I feel like somehow there's a time I sat down and I said, what if it was planned for us not to know this? Because you know how hurting it is. I've seen so many people hurt because of his like death. So I feel like if we were to grow to a certain amount, it would have been so hard for us to grow up like that.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, much harder. Yeah,
it would crush you. Now, well, it's one thing that as a family we say we'll never understand why God allowed it to happen, but then we say the doings of the Lord, we cannot understand them.
Yeah, and I feel like he was too much of a perfect angel to stay in this bad earth. So he was taken away. Yeah, because I feel like he was just like, by everything everyone's telling me, and I'm sure I even feel it deep down that he was a very good person. Like,
he was
very, very good.
He was.
So I feel like God just saw something in him and said, I can't just let him. I mean, he's changed you spiritually to follow God, and he was like, she's done something amazing, and he just didn't deserve
to be in this wicked world.
I mean, I'm not saying we're wicked, no, but like,
not us, just
yeah.
I know.
But it's also built us to be really strong characters.
I know.
To be,
I know.
So it's nice to acknowledge the good things when there's not really a lot. Sometimes we always think about the bad and forget the good.
The tiny bit.
Yeah.
The ones. Now, what do you want to become? Because there's this thing. Evans had in mind what he wanted this young one to become. So what do you want to become when you grow up? Like, you're almost there.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I wanted to become a neurosurgeon because I don't know who had like a brain tumor thing, and I just felt really bad that people just die because of things that I'm not saying would 100% be avoided, but could be solved, and people and I really didn't want people to keep dying because I already felt it and I felt really bad, so I wanted to help people. But then my dad's wanted me to be a journalist, and I kind of like that. That's
you know that.
It's really nice. I feel like that's sweet to say, because people always tell me this after I've spoken to them for a while. They're like, your dad wanted you to be a journalist, and I'm like, wow, that's really good, because I think I would want to be a journalist as well. Sometimes I sit down and see, can I find a way to like make his legacy go on and kind of just give him what he would have wanted from me, as well as doing something that I love as well. So I think about it, and I'm just gonna ask Mom about it, because I don't feel like journalism is really good.
You feel, and we have to agree, she has an amazing voice. She is eloquent. She is as composure. She is 15, for God's sake. This little girl is 15. Look at her. So that would do for you, and if you really love it, you can pursue it. The kind of journalism, though, your dad talked about is quite... he used to tell us, he imagines you now reporting CNN, CNN, and you're just saying, just behind me, as you can see, and then you're dodging things from an explosion or something. He saw it big, and you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. You got everything that you need to become whatever you want to become. So tell me your greatest fear in life.
I think from the way I am now, it could either be snakes or losing losing another one of my loved ones, because I feel like that would just torment me. I can't deal with it. Yeah, because I've learned to appreciate the time that I've spent with my loved ones, whether it be 30 minutes of a call or anything. Sometimes I used to get really angry when people would just call me every time. But then I realized, and I sat down and I said, you never know when someone just stops breathing. Like, you have to kind of utilize your time to talk to this person. And that's what I'm trying to do, actually, to just be communicating with people, because I can't lose another loved one, whether it be actual losing or just them not being that the
Not
same.
being there.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, now that you're talking about the fear of losing, I think the whole Evan's death put me in a place where I'm so scared to lose people. So when I see you coming so close, dude,
Yeah,
I feel like I don't want to lose you. So just
exactly. I push people away because I'm afraid I'll lose them, and we haven't even been
we
at the
need
same,
therapy,
yeah.
don't we? We need
We do need therapy. Also, because of his death, I'm afraid of like cars and stuff, or like going in places. Like when we're in the bus, I'm so afraid of a truck coming this close to me, because I'm afraid that the same thing will happen. And I have flashbacks in his perspective as if I'm him. And I don't know how that happens. And I was not really informed much about it. But yeah, it's just something that haunts me and scares me. And I'm afraid of literally traveling to long distances and stuff, because I'm afraid that I will cause the same pain to other people. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we do need therapy. You and I, we need help.
Yeah. Really expensive help.
Well, I'll be very intentional about talking to you about your dad and the accident that he died instantly. It was just instant. He was slashed by a container. You know those containers? I don't want to scare you though.
I don't know that. Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
Okay, I was just told he was sitting at the back, and then I don't know, something happened and someone was overtaking, and then
it was a whole mess. It was a whole mess. It was not good at all. And I'll be intentional about just talking to you guys about that.
Yeah.
I will lift that off, Mom. I know. My sister-in-law, I talked to her as I was speaking her today, and she told me she's not there. It happened in 2007, and she told me she's still on
she's
2007.
still there.
It happened in September. She's still stuck there.
Yeah,
I know she's dealt with much. Yeah, I know she's had to be strong for everyone and for you guys. And I totally understand. Yeah, we all go back there. Sometimes you're good for months, and then one day you just sit in the house and you realize he is gone, and you get mad, and sometimes you don't understand why things happen the way they do.
Yeah. I heard, was her brother did her brother die before Dad or after?
Your mom's brother.
Yeah.
He died before.
Yeah. So she was going.
She was actually mourning their big brother, who was shot. It was also an instant, you know, those things that someone is not in the hospital, you just called that Tony has been shot, and
I wish my biggest wish is just to take that pain away from like her, because I can't, and you would never know, because she's just so there, but like she's so present, and sometimes I feel so bad about asking her about Dad, because I'm afraid that she'll break down, and I don't want her to feel bad.
You will take her back there, like you will take her back there. I totally understand. And let me tell you one thing. The more actually this death is what pushed me to go and do psychology, and I didn't know how much I was carrying until the first class in psychology. You present your tree of life. Since the day you can remember yourself, and I talked about that, and I broke down. It was so bad, and I dealt with it. And I believe that every one of us, especially Babu, we need to have those sessions. It's been long. We can sit down with someone and just open up and talk about it.
Because it's closing it in won't help, because the only way you can stop grieving is accepting that has happened, because you can't just keep staying on that one place forever. But it's okay, it's normal, because you know the people who have gone through so much, and like even I take some time, even though I didn't know him, to accept that he's not there. Also, Babu told me something about, he was telling me about how like they call you to like view the body and stuff like that. That's so bad.
That's so
would
bad.
not want
But
that.
he was not in a position to be viewed. Apart from us family, the rest of the people could not view him. That thing messed his body, so you could not see him. But apparently I went to his casket when everybody was in the meeting there. It was in the house, and I held his hand, and that right there was a moment of truth for me. He was so cold. He was so dry, you know.
Yeah, like
And I
lifeless.
asked him, Evans, what happened to you? Yeah. So it's nobody could do that. It's only us family that were allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And he is there. He is gone. And sometimes when I'm going through stuff, I'm like, okay, you're in heaven. Please just talk to God. Tell God something about
literally,
this.
yeah. I'm like, stand for us. When we're having a problem, stand for us. Tell him about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know, and it's been a journey, and I'm really grateful to God when I see you guys. I look at you. Sometimes when I miss him so much, I just want to come and hug you people, and I feel much, much better because you are like a reflection of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My worst fear, actually, after losing a loved one, is now losing my mom. Like sometimes I'm in like places and my mom comes late at home, and then I'm just there like, no,
She
bro, no,
No,
I can't
bruh.
do this again. No, please don't do this
No.
again. Yeah, it's because if I lose my mom, I think that would be the end. Me and my brother are also going. Like
No.
I'm not gonna stay because it's just gonna be hurtful for me. Yeah.
And God is going to keep her. She will be here and see her grandchildren. You guys are
great grandchildren.
great. Yes, all
Yeah.
of that. God will keep her for the sake of you guys. Yeah. So it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. You are amazing. It's just, it feels so good to just talk to you about this in front of a camera. Gosh, in front of a camera, it's and it's also good for me as your auntie to know where you are at.
Yeah.
Concerning this.
Yeah.
And feel free to ask whenever. Make a call. Tell me I
Yeah.
want to know this.
Yeah,
Ask
because
anything.
I feel like you've had the most like you've had the most time with him, like because obviously like me and my brother have had a lot more close times than
of course.
Yeah, it's really hurtful, and I'm so sorry any of us have to go through that.
Yeah, it's not anything you wish on anyone.
Yeah.
Death is too painful. Death is just too painful to deal with. And every day we keep encouraging ourselves that it is okay. It is what was right for us. We may never understand, yeah? But we just believe that God would not have allowed it to happen if he knew we cannot handle it. So he knows we're strong enough. It has brought us so much close together because so much was said, so much was done after that, and we had to stay close to each other and take care of each other.
Yeah.
It has
important.
really knitted us together through it all. So tell me about, as we wind up, we were talking, I have interest with you, teenagehood. I know we don't spend a lot of time together. Yeah, you told me it's not as you thought it would be.
Yeah.
What are some of maybe the challenges that you deal with as a teenager? Are there any?
Well, I don't. Well, wow.
You free. It's my journal.
The only problem that I have with being a teenager is that I'm afraid of like being alone. I don't know if that's. I think that's everyone's like.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be alone.
fear.
No one.
Yeah, but like I feel
alone
like,
as in how? Tell me about alone.
okay, people in my school don't really have this. Okay, we have the same interest, but sometimes nowadays I'm usually just alone. Like
You told me about that.
yeah,
Why? What happened? You were an outspoken girl.
I was, but then something happened, and I'm not really. I just hung out with one or two people each day, and that's all. Yeah, and I feel like something that I don't like is that I feel like I'm wasting my teenage dream. That's stereotypical because everyone just thinks they can go party, have drugs, and do all those things.
So what are those things? What is it that you would want to do different as a teenager? We're talking about going to Dubai. We just talked about that.
Yes.
She wants to travel the world.
Yes, that's
okay.
I would love to do that. I think that's one thing. Just, but I also want to kind of go back to the personality that I had, because I'm really quiet now, and I don't know why.
Does it bother you that you're quiet?
Well, unless people point it out a lot, so it makes me feel bad and guilty that I'm not talking to them, because people are like, why are you not talking to me? Like, you've been like this, you've changed so much, and it makes me feel guilty. So I try, because I used to be like really just talking to everyone at all times, but I just want people to know that it's not because I don't want to like talk to people. It's just that I just forgot how to talk to people.
You forgot how to talk.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about when you're alone, quiet, and not saying much? Is it that something is bothering you? Is it that you just want to stay away from everyone?
Sometimes mom thinks that when I'm alone and I stay, I'm bothered, and I feel bad because like sometimes I would look moody, but I'm really not. I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yeah, I've met you several times, and I'm like, no.
But I just don't know how to communicate something. It's just like I'm just there.
Are you being careful not to hurt anyone, not to bring out your emotions? Yeah, like, what made you close up, really?
I do not know. Sometimes I see Salem and Sean happy together, and I'm like, am I like the problem? Am I the burden here? And then I just keep quiet, and then they think that I'm angry at them, but I'm not. I just feel like I just look at them and I'm just there.
Do you think that is part of teenagehood?
No, I don't. Everyone in our school is just everywhere, talking at all times.
Yeah, and they're teenagers.
Yeah, but like my friends, yeah.
But you're comfortable quiet, you as a person?
Yeah, I just do not want people to think
you're not okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've learned to not be mad. I used to be, oh my God, in school, when I was in year 7, I used to be really angry at people from the smallest things. But then I just learned that there's no point of it. And like, I love seeing people happy, and I love people, and I would never get angry at you unless major things like stealing. Yeah. Yeah. Like those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I've realized you're a bit quiet. Anyway, you're a young girl, you're becoming a woman right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of things are going to change. You probably now pick your personality, the person that you really are. And as long as you're okay, you're not bothered, it should not bother you, and you don't have a problem with anyone, I think that should not really, really bother you.
Another thing, okay, it's back to Dad, but like more of my teenagehood as well. When I was in school a few years, I don't know if it was a few years or months, I was talking to people in my class, and we were just talking about what our parents do. And then I realized that most people don't like just stay with their moms and don't go, like their dads are divorced, like they're divorced.
Yeah, they're not together.
As bad as it sounds, sometimes I sit down and I'm like, thank God my parents weren't divorced, because that would be something that
even worse.
Yeah, I feel like, because I'm just happy. It's just calming to know that he passed on when they were okay, like they were in love. Yeah, it's just comforting.
That tells you how much these young ones are affected by.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Well, some people really did not. There's this girl who is in my class whose parents were photographers of my parents' wedding.
Oh.
Yeah, and she was like, I mean, I didn't really know your dad because we were both small.
Yeah.
But like, my parents speak highly of your father, and they just couldn't believe it. They were also shocked because they knew he was a prominent person. Even if the whole country didn't know him, the multitude of people that did know him add up to like the whole world knowing him. Yeah.
Yeah, amazingly, actually, his burial was one of the most attended burial in our place. Like, he was given a burial that you give a prominent person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because he worked for God so much, he was out there doing ministry every other time. So yeah, he was given a very, very good burial, a send-off as they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send off. That's
A
nice.
send-off,
That's
yeah.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, that is okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I know you're in a big school.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're in a big school, and your school, most of the students or your students,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
your student. Sorry, she's not a pupil. Are Hindus.
Yeah. Yeah.
How would you imagine, with you being a Christian and a committed Christian? Praise the Lord.
Amen.
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 Uh-huh.
Amen.
How do you jungle that?
In the past, it was hard because we're all kids and we all kind of just like judged people by their religion. Like,
Yeah.
oh, so you're a Christian, can't hang out with you. They still do that. There's some groups of people that just kind of won't mingle with you, not because you're only Christian, but because you're African as well. Not knowing that they live in Africa and are Africans, but like, we won't talk about that.
No, we ain't talking about that.
But like, honestly, now it's fine. Like in the groups of people that I'm in now, they don't really judge people. We don't really look at people from their religions. And sometimes, you know, I've tried talking to people about my religion, but it's hard now because people
You
have
try
gained,
to evangelize?
but people have gained
Oh,
this
high
type of-
five! You did that.
Yeah. But then this girl was like, but like, why are you telling, you're doing too much. Why are you telling us all this?
Like, keep
And
your
I'm like,
thing.
okay. So now I'm gonna tell you when you ask me. I'm not just gonna come and tell you like
Oh, Lord.
straight up like
Uh,
when you're eating and stuff. Yeah, by the way, because you know the vegetarians and we eat meat,
oh,
Yeah. but like
Oh.
now they're comfortable with it. Like when
Do
I
you
was,
carry meat in school?
yeah, I do carry sandwiches with meat inside. But like when we used to eat in class, especially this, you know, basically if you weren't sitting with a group of Indians, then they will never really know what you're eating. So I never used to sit with them because they would sit with other people. I used to sit with some Indians, but they weren't judgy. They were those judgy ones. So basically, when it rains in school, you can't sit outside. Obviously, you have to stay in class collectively together. So when I was in year 6, I had pilau with meat inside, and I was eating really quietly, like on the side, and they're all looking at me.
Like, did you just eat?
What are they? What is she doing? And then my friends who are Indians, because like my friends who are Indians, they're like, don't worry about them. They're just leave them alone. Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's good to know that you're holding in there. I know it
Yeah.
can be a challenge because you're young and you can be sweaty in there and, you know,
Yeah.
all that. Well, gosh, I know our time is fast spent and it is just amazing to have this young girl. She is my daughter, literally. Like,
Yes,
people say
oh
we
my
look
God.
alike. Do you think?
It's a compliment. I'm every time. Keep telling me that, please. My ego is
Your ego is
Yeah.
up. Ooh,
because it's so nice to be told that. Yeah.
Even mom told me that you have this theory in your mind
Yeah.
that you are my daughter.
Yeah, and she wasn't paying attention. She was like really lost because she told me after she gave birth to me she fell asleep, and I was like, that's when it happened.
Yeah, but it's really amazing to know that you are so grown. I can sit down and have this conversation
Yeah.
with you. It's I'm overwhelmed. Thank you so much for choosing to come
Thank you for
and talk to you.
having
Such
me.
a strong girl.
Thank you.
And you turned out so well. Evans would be smiling wherever he is. And Evans, we're doing this.
Yes,
we're
love
doing
you,
this.
yes. Thank you. I really thought that I was wondering. You see the timing. I was like, oh my God, are we really gonna talk for this long? But then I realized that it was so free.
Yeah,
like,
it's just a conversation. And you
I
know,
loved
you and
this.
I click. We can just
Yeah.
do it over.
I
and
could do
over.
this every day. This
Every
is nice.
day.
I
She's
love
gonna
it.
be my co-host. This one is a great thing in making. This little girl is a great thing in making, and
you.
I will do whatever I can do. If you're in media, we'll get you out there.
Okay.
God
thank
will
you.
help us.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming. I want you to look at this camera, right? Yeah. And can you do Swahili? Can you make a sentence in Swahili?
In like proper Swahili.
Just Swahili.
What do you want me to say? Because I
Like, thank you for watching Gina's Journal.
Asante kwa kutazama Gina's Journal. I just say journal in
Yeah,
Kiswahili.
just do it, Journal.
Okay. Asante kwa kutazama Gina's Journal.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So thank you so much. I want you to talk also to a girl out there who doesn't have a dad around because they probably left, or
Yeah.
they were never really involved, or they are gone. They also, you know, their father passed on.
Yeah.
Just tell them something, encourage them.
I would say that, I mean, it is hard, it's tough, and obviously there are days where you'll break down and cry, but just think of it as something that will strengthen you. I know it's going to be hard, even for your parent, but everything is going to be fine. Everything works out in the end, and pain is not permanent. It's always temporary.
Ooh, that is Wendo for you. Jerusa Wendo here. My niece, I am so excited. I am so happy that she has been part of this. We thank you for choosing to watch. And every little girl out there that you don't have your dad around, you can do it. All done in there. You know, be strong. And if God has blessed you with a mom, support her, walk with her.
Yes.
Everything is possible. You can become whatever. Sean is so tired of hearing this. You can become anything that you want to become in this world. There is no limit whatsoever. I know the opportunities for some may not be as much as for others,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, we can work it
Yes.
out, and we can work up there. So thank you so much for watching Gina's Journal. I'll see you again on Tuesday. Please remember to subscribe, like, and invite someone, invite a friend,
Yes.
so that we can meet again on Tuesday and do this together.